Does your magic loop knitting look weird at the halfway points? Do you get ladders like this down the side or crease lines? I got this problem designing my easy rib mitts pattern and tried so many things to fix it. Snugging up stitches, holding things differently, starting each round in a different spot. None of them worked. Then I finally found the fix. Phrancko's improved magic loop technique. It's genius. A big shout out to Phrancko. I've linked to his original video below. Here's how to magic loop without ladders, step by step. But first, if you've never done magic loop knitting before, watch my 10-minute beginner's video first. Just click at the top right now or see the link in the description below. In that standard magic loop tutorial, I showed you how to knit each half round in 4 simple steps. Step 1 was to turn your knitting. Step 2 was to push the front tip left to move your stitches onto it. Step 3 was to pull out the back tip and bring it around to meet the front tip. And step 4 was to grab the front and back together and knit another half round. This better magic loop method does things differently at step 3, but much remains the same. So you don't need to learn a load of new stuff. You just change one thing, which fixes everything. So when you get to step 3, instead of pulling the back tip all the way out, leave it where it is and count the first 4 stitches on the back needle. Put your finger and thumb after the 4th stitch to mark that spot, holding the back needle. Next, slide the back tip out with your other hand so that your stitches, finger and thumb are on the cable. You're not pulling it out a lot, like with standard magic loop, you're just sliding it out a bit. Now you're going to yank out a bit of cable cord after the 4th stitch, right where your finger and thumb are. You need a nice flexible cable for this. And then you're going to pull up on the right side of this loop to move the first 4 stitches onto your needle tip. It's just easier here to pull your tip up to meet your stitches than the other way round. So now you have your first 4 stitches on the tip, a loop of cable hanging out behind your needle tip, and the rest of your stitches on the back cable as usual. Don't worry about the gap between your first 4 stitches and the rest due to the loop hanging out. That's only there briefly, it won't stretch your stitches. It does look a bit crazy, but now all you have to do is bring your tips together and start knitting. But before we do, why bother with this? What's the point? Well, unlike standard magic loop, we now have stitches on both our needle tips before we start each half round. Having stitches beside each other like this automatically gives you your natural knitting tension. Think about it. This is exactly how knitting looks mid-row however you knit, whether you're using straight needles, a circular or DPNs. So there's no need for special measures anymore. You don't have to remember to hold things a certain way, or snug up after stitches, or do anything else to avoid your knitting looking wonky at the halfway points. Just knit away as usual and all will be well. I'm knitting 1x1 rib here, but this better magic loop method works for any stitch pattern. There's no need to hold the front and back together anymore. I actually like to hold my finger inside the tube. That feels good to me, but you do you. And now I simply knit a half round of rib, knitting the first stitch, purling the next stitch, and so on. So here I am near the end of the half round with only 2 stitches of rib to go. So I knit the next stitch and purl the last stitch. Now my left tip is empty and that's another half round done. Let's see the better magic loop steps again. The first 2 steps are the same as standard magic loop. So step 1 is to turn your knitting over, and step 2 is to push the front cable left to move your next stitches up to the needle tip. Notice here when I hold the tips together, instead of having exactly half the stitches on each tip, there's now 4 more stitches at the back. But not for long, because here's where things change and the magic happens. Our old step 3 was to just pull the back tip right out. But now step 3 starts with counting the first 4 stitches on the back tip and holding the needle with your left finger and thumb after the 4th stitch. Then slide your back tip out with your other hand so your stitches are on the cable. You're not pulling a lot, like with standard magic loop, you just slide your tip out a bit. Step 4 is to yank out a small loop of cable after the 4th stitch, at the spot your finger and thumb are marking. And step 5 is to pull up on the right side of this loop. This moves the needle tip up and gets the first 4 stitches on it. The setup looks super strange, so let me explain. You've your next half round of stitches ready to knit on your front needle as usual. Then you've a big loop hanging out the left side and most of your stitches on your back cable as usual. But what's different from standard magic loop is that you now have 4 stitches on your other needle tip instead of none, and another loop hanging out between those 4 stitches and the rest. Just forget about how crazy it looks and take the tip with 4 stitches in your right hand and the other tip in your left. Bring your tips together and you're ready to knit. Now you see that familiar magic loop look with your 2 big ear loops hanging out. The only difference is it looks like you've already done 4 stitches when you start each half round. And it's bringing those 4 stitches around that gives you perfect tension all the way around. No ladders, no lines, no wonky stitches. Yay! With this better magic loop method, there's no need to do anything special when you knit the first stitches in every half round. You can just knit away without thinking about it. Another reason this method works well is that moving 4 stitches around every time means that you start every round in a different spot. I've marked the first stitch for the last 4 rounds here. You can see that the starting point moves 4 stitches every round. Always starting at a different stitch also helps even out any slight knitting tension quirks you may have. But how do you keep track of where the original, true beginning of the round is? Well, I just use my yarn tail, which always hangs down at your first and last stitch where you joined to start knitting in the round. But you can place an end of round marker on your needle, if you prefer to keep track of where the real round starts that way. Now you might be thinking, sure, the half round points look great with no ladders or lines, but her rib looks a mess. I hear ya. I'm not the neatest rib knitter, but many knitters' ribbing looks worse in the round. That's because you typically have looser knit stitches than purl stitches, and when you knit in the round, you never turn your knitting, so all the looser knit stitches stack on top of each other. So here's a bonus tip for you. If your rib looks messy, just turn your tube inside out and ta-da! The other side looks way neater. That's because your tight purl columns that were hidden on the outside are super neat knit columns on the other side. So if you're knitting a ribbed hat or mitts in the round and don't like the look of your ribbing, there's an easy fix. Instead of seeing the outside as the right side as usual, you can just treat it as the wrong side or inside of your knitting. Then just turn your item inside out when you're done and admire your lovely neat ribbing. I hope this video helps improve your magic loop knitting so you can knit lots of lovely things. Got any questions? Just comment below. Thanks for watching.